it is time to talk about the mechanic that makes this game what it is. Well, besides its roster and the Dream Cancel and its amazing soundtrack. Okay, let's just move on. Hey everyone, Mestre Square here. This is the day you will learn how to use this mechanic, how to shift in KOF 11. Of course, this is usually called tag in most fighting games, but given the fact that in the game itself, all of the mechanics related to it are called shifts, well, we're just gonna stay true to it, okay? This is such an essential mechanic that the game's arcade intro teaches you how to do it right off the bat. But how does it really work, right? Because obviously it does not tell you all the details, and then if you try to do it, it does not explain why is it not working or whatever. Okay, so let's start with the absolute basics. Okay, so the first thing you have to do is
select your team leader. Select the order.
to perform a regular shift. It's actually very simple. You either press both punch buttons, which is A and C, to shift with the second character, or you press both kick buttons, aka B and D, to shift with the third character. It is that simple. It does not require any meter whatsoever, but it does leave you open because it leaves you in a sort of taunt animation in which you're vulnerable. So it is better that you do it when you already took down a character, or whenever the opponent is playing very defensively and leaving enough distance so that you can do it safely. Believe it or not, there are some that are better than others, since some have more frames of animation than others, but in reality, having a shorter regular shift would hardly make Momoku a better character, and having a longer one will likely not put a dent in K-Dash whatsoever. As a matter of fact, it is so obvious that it's a bad idea to do this that sometimes opponents don't expect it when you misinput it, right? But please do not misinput it, right? I'm just letting you know this is actually something that happens because people just don't expect it, okay? Now that we got the mirrorless mechanic out of the way, let's talk about the mirror itself, the skill gauge. These two orbs that you see above the super mirror. This is a secondary mirror like the drive mirror from KOF 11, except it is more straightforward on how it gets filled up. The mirror simply fills up over time. It takes 8 seconds per stock, meaning 16 seconds to get both of them. This mirror is also used to do specials and dream cancels, as well as the very occasional roll cancel. The shift mechanics is actually why you don't see any of these mechanics or all that often, right? They're actually generally rare in actual matches. So let's talk about them. Both defensive shifts require both of your stocks of the skill gauge. When doing a save and shift, you have to press either shift command, whichever of the two, when you're being hit. This will bring a character with a jumping attack to knock the character away, essentially working as a combo breaker. However, it cannot be used all the time. You can only save shit when you're on the ground, meaning if you're getting juggled, you can't really do anything about it. You also can't save shift most projectiles. Some you can't, like Kank or K-Dash work for some reason. No command grabs or regular throws whatsoever, no supers. And there are also some special moves that are in a weird gray area where they're sort of like a projectile, but not really. Generally speaking, you could say that many energy-based moves will not work. E attacks or the blowback attack will also not be save shifted. Good players will actually see your save shift coming and they will think about ways on how to counter it. There are specific moves that can actually counter it. I know that it sounds like it's not that useful, but even though I listed so many things, there are relatively specific scenarios. And the time when save shift is useful will come, particularly when trying to avoid the stun combo, which spells death in this game. But we're not gonna talk too much about stun for now, because that is its own topic, right? Let's just continue. Guard cancel shift, it is basically the same thing, except it works with everything that is blockable, including projectiles. While the defensive shift coming from the character deals very little damage and it cannot kill, it can still cause a counter hit state, which you can then fall off, depending on the character that you have. And here's where the fun begins. where do I even begin? Maybe by explaining what it is. Quick shift, it is a shift performed when doing an attack with the purpose to follow up into another move. Just like the save and shift, quick shifting has its rules, right? First of all, it only uses one stock of the skill gauge. Same principle. When you do an attack, you press either of the shift commands to bring in a character. However, here you do not do an automatic attack like with the defensive shifts. You're essentially in a regular jumping state, and you can do any jump attacks, command normals, air specials, and so on, right? Just like not every move can be save shifted, not every move can be quick shifted. Here are some examples. Jump attacks. Jump specials. Command throws. Regular throws. Projectiles. Short range projectiles. Moves that leave the ground. As I said before, energy-based moves like reflectors and some other moves like that. And litter moves. Again, this sounds very restrictive, so let's talk about the moves that you can actually quick shift. The general rule is the moves have to be grounded and they have to be contact moves. That means normals, whether they're lights, heavies, park, close, standing, or crouching. All of them can be quick shift. Yes, even sweeps, even though there's really no purpose for it. Command normals. Target combos. Rec has. Single and multi-hit specials. As well as level 1 supers that generally follow this type of logic. They can all be quick shifted. You can also quick shift from a standing E, although there really is no reason to do it. When you quick shift, it is not necessarily a specific move that you're quick shifting from, but a hit from that move. And the stun properties juggle stage dealt to the opponent with that last hit you use will stay, meaning if the hit keeps your opponent in the ground, your incoming character will be able to follow up in the ground. If your opponent was launched, you must follow up accordingly with your incoming character in order to juggle your opponent. To better explain what I mean by hit and not move, let me take an example. Both K-Dash and Yuri have a heavy DP that can be quick shift. They both launch opponents, of course, because they're DPs. However, Yuri's DPs launch in the first frames of the move. Meanwhile, K-Dash initial frames did not launch the opponent. This will result in Yuri's quick shift launching the opponent every single time. Meanwhile, there is a change for K-Dash teammate to be able to follow up in the ground. And every frame done when they both have left the ground is completely unusable for quick shift. When you pick a character in KOF, one of the first things you do, and you should always do when you pick up any KOF game, is to try to learn what moves are special cancel. There is a similar process here. Try learning what moves you can quick shift from. What is the best way to follow up? What, can your character juggle with a quick shift? Can your character receive characters that are being juggled? Or do you just have generic quick shift combos, right? These are things that you have to take into account, when you're trying to plan out how these combos are gonna work out. Quick shifting can be done on block as well, which means it will make certain moves safer to use that otherwise would be punished, like heavy DPs or supers. Okay, I think that about covers it. Sorry this took me forever to do. There may be some more technical stuff which we could get into, but I really just wanted you to get the core idea of how this mechanic works. I just wanted to get it out there to ease doubts on how exactly does this thing work. Trying to get this game to be more recognized, it is going to be a bit of a taller task. Hopefully, eventually, SNK will bring this amazing game once again, and everybody will get a chance to experience how fun this game is. Well, that is if SNK does not fumble like they did with the 13th port. Oh my god, seriously? Come on, just give it to Code Mystics, the PS2 version, so we can all be happy. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and see you guys later.